Okay, we're here.
Here we are. Born to be hedgehogs.
Yeah. Our last little batch of stuff to do here. Figure we'll get our posters.
We're
Then we'll hit
the
the collection room.
ultimate life form in the universe.
In the multiverse now.
Ah,
We fixed a clock, you guys.
we did. On the D-pad.
I'm Rick.
And I'm Peter.
This is Shadow Generations. This is the generation where Shadow was in a movie.
And has some more hair. And Keanu for a voice.
Keanu's awkwardly directed voice acting and poorly mixed at that, too. His voice is so buried in the audio, it's ridiculous.
I feel as if I've left my own dimension.
Now, that's such a weird statement, because, like, the rest of the stage, he acts like he thinks like movie Shadow. So was he acting, is he referring to, like, feeling like he's not in his game dimension anymore, or that he feels like as movie Shadow, something is off, and he feels like he's
In a weird game instead of in his movie.
Yeah.
Let's do a beautiful city.
Whoop.
It looks like how Maria described the Earth.
I'm trying. Okay, I guess we're not doing that. Cool. Oh boy. Let's do that. It's fine. Nope. There we go. I remember where one of the posters was.
Okay. That's good.
Oh, the jump actually also, I didn't realize the jump also has the very clumpy spike look of the movies too.
Cute.
Let's take the hit, doesn't really matter. Well, yeah, one of them I could swear was out in the train area in general. Maybe that was one that you actually went back and got, though.
I don't know. Like, Collecties was definitely not
Oh,
my
I see one. Yeah, there it is.
focus. So oftentimes it was, oh, there it is. But also,
All right.
right, that was in the middle of the path. So I just straight up missed it by being bad at video games.
I think you went through one of the different, like, because there were 3 corridors you could go through there.
Yeah.
And I think you wound up going, like, left or something.
Right. And, oh, it was on the center path. Whoops.
Oh. There we go. Oh, yeah, the weirdly bathroom-looking train station.
We're in,
Subway.
portals.
It is very, Aperture Science. Whoops. Whoop. Oh, I hope I didn't
Okay.
pass it, did I? Okay.
Yeah, that felt an awful lot like an opportunity to miss it, didn't it?
It really did. Okay.
Ah, they did the thing.
Spirals. Oh, all right. I was like, can I get up on one of these buildings? No? All right, sweet.
No, there's
Relaxing
invisible
cafe.
walls.
Rouge TB. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Sorry, Rouge.
Sorry, Rouge.
You should get to a hospital about
Yeah,
that.
that. You might want to see if you can get that cleared up.
There's treatments available.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have drug-resistant TB.
It's not the 19th century anymore. We got ways to help with that.
What a waste of time.
But I'm going to waste my time with it anyway. Whee!
Oh, we're doing a cool rocket thing? Must be a cutscene.
Yo, it's absolutely cutscene. No quick time events, just cutscene. Cool, he just threw energy. I guess it's kind of a chaos spear. Bye! Just gets completely shredded by the chopper blades.
Yeah. Being a helicopter pilot must be, like, just all sorts of scary.
I could not. I don't even want to ride in a helicopter. I can't even imagine piloting one.
Yeah. As much of a trope as it is to, like, have a Vegas vacation and take a day trip to do a helicopter tour of the Grand Canyon, because they are close enough.
Yep, I'm good. I'm good. That's how Kobe died. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't... I've seen the
It's not even
Grand
a joke.
Canyon.
That's literally what happened.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You know?
I've seen the Grand Canyon. I like the Grand Canyon. I don't want to
Yeah.
fly in a helicopter.
Nope. I mean, I got a height
With or
thing
without.
anyway, but
With or without being near the Grand Canyon. Oh, God. Grand Canyon will test your heights thing just by being near the edge.
oh, I believe it. I very much believe it.
What? Why was that fire so arresting to your momentum?
Because I froze the fire, which gives it infinite thermal energy. Yep.
This feels like an extended sequence where there was an A path and a B path.
Yeah.
Which makes it harder to know whether you missed a movie poster.
Especially since the movie posters don't seem to be showing up when you've collected them, unlike the previous one. Now, I remember there being one around here in the fire. So we've clearly missed number 3. Because I remember that you got it and then died and then missed it and then died, but then you got it on the third one and got through. We got this section of like all the rockets and stuff. Oop. Oop. Whoop.
God, we did this one so early.
It was like 16-ish episodes in. We're now on episode, I think 47. So literally, whoops.
This one isn't just cutscene.
Yeah, I put the controller down and was fixing my seat and I was like, whoa, uh-oh.
That's okay. They give you forever to hit the X.
Why are you being so moody?
Not bad.
Not
That's
bad.
what B stands for. Bad not. All right, so at least we know we can get through the subway without slowing down.
A checkpoint.
Beautiful city. It looks like how Maria described
Oop, okay.
Train ya.
Through. Okay. Use some more boost power one of these days. Whoa!
I don't know how you didn't land on spikes there.
Oh, that's what happens if I try to use boost power and I have none. He just makes orange smoke. Yeah, the rings help. It's been a confusing mechanic this entire game. I've not been extremely sure how boosting has been.
How to build boost?
Yeah. Now, we didn't go this way, did we?
No.
Let's do this.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, good.
Okay, well, that answers that question, I guess.
This was exactly at the AB spot, wasn't it? Or,
Yep.
or is there one more AB spot coming up?
I think that was the main one right there.
Yeah.
What are they?
You can't just say shit like that, Shadow. Oh, I would love to skip this.
He can say whatever he wants.
You can't cancel Shadow because he's not real. And also,
Too cool to be canceled.
yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good follow-up for that, actually.
He's not real. That's the yeah.
He actually doesn't understand what the internet is still. He's been around for 24 years and he still doesn't quite get it somehow. He spent his entire life minus a couple months in a fully like Web 2.0 world, and he still doesn't understand.
Yeah. Well, he spent most of that time as a nihilist,
That's true.
so he doesn't care.
The doctor told me about this thing called DARPANET. What is it? Sonic's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Shadow.
What do you mean, DARPANET?
There's gotta be some old guy thing, right? What? Don't say that. That's so mean.
What's the DARPANET? Can you get chili dogs there?
Probably. I don't know. I haven't used it. Everyone died when I was technically a baby. Why do you have to remind me of this shit, Sonic?
Because you're so old. You're such an old.
Have they discovered penicillin yet?
How do you know about it if they haven't discovered it yet?
Maria said something about it. In the 70s or something.
Penicillin's been around kind of a long time now.
It has, yeah. We've had. It may have been part of this series, in fact, where we had the discussion on where penicillin came from. Would it have been here? I'm trying to remember what would have spawned that conversation in the first place. Oh, Davey's so cool.
Maria having consumption.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, yeah, maybe. It might have literally been like the first episode.
Yep.
It's very fitting that we have the conversation here.
Oh no! Oh, it was John's rival lock, because wasn't it? Because he was doing sciencey stuff, or
No, that was me. Oh, that was
You're
my
doing
Insurgents.
Scientist.
Yeah, that was Insurgents for me.
okay, so it might have been then, because I remember something about talking about Fleming.
Yes. Is Fleming still alive? Fleming might be dead now.
Oh God, I don't know. He's discovered that in 1928. So.
Oh no, I didn't mean Fleming the person. I meant Fleming the Pokemon.
Oh, Fleming the Pokemon.
I feel fairly confident that Fleming the person is dead.
Or a vampire.
Or that, yeah.
Complete my mission.
I forget what Fleming was. Fleming was a... Because we were talking about penicillin coming from essentially rotted fruit, right?
Yes, cantaloupe. It grows on cantaloupe as a mold.
Oh God.
And other stuff, but that's like a good source for it.
Well, let's take our victory lap
You got it.
through the collection room.
Look at all this.
We already read Gerald's
collecties.
journal. It was a very long episode.
It was.
I don't actually think that episode's gone out yet. I think that's still in the editing bay right now.
the dramatic reading.
But that one is that one was definitely a long one.
Yep.
All right, we got some posters. All right. Cool. Oh, we can hide the UI. Whoop. Oh, no, I zoomed in. I'm like, oh, okay. The UI can stay. Whatever.
Yep.
These sure are posters of Shadow's movie-style game model. Just hanging out.
Yep.
Just hanging out in some places. Those are cool rocket shoes.
Oh boy.
Okay. I'm so glad we had those as rewards for looking for stuff.
That was such a great set of posters.
All right, we have 98 of these. Holy cow.
98 arts.
Well, we'll start working through them. There's probably some box art for Shadow the Hedgehog. Some of these are going to be pretty straightforward. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Sonic Heroes. The little lines thing was the inspiration for what I was doing for like the vibe for Sonic Weekathon 3.
Yep.
What is his hand is different. I was trying to figure out what is different between these posters, and it's literally whether his hand... In the U.S., he's got a clenched fist, and in Japan, he's like, hey...
That's too extreme, the fist.
Yep.
He's got to have a relaxed hand.
Oh, my
It
God.
is better, like, art-wise, to have the relaxed hand.
I think so, too. I think the Japanese one is just a tiny bit better. It's almost completely insignificant, but I think there is a vibe difference. The fist is like, I'm ready to fight. The open hand is like, I'm ready for adventure.
Yeah.
Like, woo, I'm running. Which, different vibes for that. Sonic Forces. Yep.
Sonic and Baby Sonic.
Look at Metal Sonic there, like he fucking mattered in that goddamn game.
Well, he is in the background. He's like, depth-wise, the farthest back character
true.
in that whole double scene.
I guess you actually do fight Metal Sonic briefly, as opposed to Chaos, who you don't fight at all. That was irritating. Shadow 2D poses. These look to be... Okay, these are from Sonic Adventure 2, but some of these I've never seen before. The top left two I've seen a lot. The other ones I haven't. And actually, they might not be Sonic Adventure 2. You can actually see the color black of his fur is different after the first two. And the reds have a different, highlight going on.
Oh, yeah. Definitely orangier on the first two that highlight. And a solid two sections of color, whereas the highlight is much less of it and less pronounced of an orange in the other poses.
That's so interesting. I wonder what the other ones come from, or if they were just general concept art. Top center is also Sonic Adventure 2. Bottom left is Sonic Adventure 2. I think the bottom center might also be...
The bottom center and the bottom right both have the bold orange thin highlight like that.
I also don't have as much exposure to original Sonic Adventure 2 as I do Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and it's totally possible there's some art belonging to the original that I hadn't seen.
Yep.
The top right looks more like Sonic X, just a little bit. I don't know. It's tough to tell on some of these. 3D CG poses. These all look like Shadow Generations or This is very, very modern stuff. Just the very... There's a color texture to Sonic and Shadow that make their heads look like they're kind of made of a light clay. That is very like 2020s 3D models for them.
Okay.
And yeah, you can even see there's some differences on these. I think the top center one is Shadow the Hedgehog. The top left is, I think, Sonic Adventure 2. Bottom left might be... The bottom two might be Sonic Forces. I don't know on the top right one. That might be Sonic 06. These are Sonic X. Yeah, Shadow animation poses. These are all Sonic X. Okay, some interesting... I still haven't actually watched Sonic X. I really need to. Animation poses, expressions. Yeah, these are more things from there. Okay, neato. 2D illustrations.
That like particularly pointy nose situation.
Yeah.
Has seemed to sort of get minimized in some of the other media, but in the cartoons they have that like...
Oh, it's like
nose.
It's like an almost Mickey Mouse nose. A boop, like a little...
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, they kind of go for a little bit more of a like... It's a little more pointy on those. Team Dark 3D CG Collection. Yeah, left is Sonic Heroes. Right might be like in-game models from Sonic Heroes.
I mean, it's cool to have them side by side like that.
Yeah. More Sonic X stuff. Alrighty. Sonic Rivals 2 announcement visual.
Go head to Hedgehog.
Oh, God. What a great slogan. The funny part is, it's like, because I don't remember if Sonic Generations had any like art collection stuff. It probably did, but it's so funny because it's like we recently played Sonic Rivals 2, and then thinking through, it's like, yeah, Sonic Generations. I guess the original Sonic Generations wasn't way later than that. Yeah. It's just funny to have this in there. It's such an odd thing to specifically have. I don't think there was any Sonic Rivals 1 stuff in here. I say as we get to Sonic Rivals poster art. Never mind.
They didn't say anything about these coming in order.
Yeah, what fucking order are we doing this in, too? Sonic the Hedgehog, yeah, so Sonic 06. All right, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, or 2 Battle. Original Sonic Adventure 2 seems like.
2D illustration.
Feels like the left is a lot busier than the right.
It's...
The extra, like, Tails takes...
How many faces do we have? We got 4 faces on the right, plus a, like, Eggbot.
Yeah, Eggman's mech that he rides is taking the place of Knuckles, I guess.
6 faces.
Well, it's got the Chow leaning to the left, too, which is part of that.
I'm counting that guy on the left, for sure.
The stuff is mostly even if you include Eggman's mech in place of Knuckles, but it's just like, it feels very left-heavy. Shadow color palette.
It's funny because I felt it was balanced because the left side was lighter. So the right side had less stuff but was darker, which gives it weight.
That's fair.
Like from a composition standpoint. His Pantone color chart.
I was going to say, if you guys want the official color palette of Shadow the Hedgehog and Super Shadow...
There they are in Pantone numbers.
Yep. Which technically, I mean, not even technically, I was going to say, which technically makes... Shadows, like, which makes all of this stuff copyrighted, because I want to say Pantone colors usually have a copyright or trademark associated, but they already did anyway. Pantone has like a trademark over all of its official colors in the first place, which is convoluted and fucking annoying.
But people who are doing design work buy access to that all the time, like so that they can have this kind of thing where you use the Pantone colors, which means you can do cross media color consistency and and have the conversation with people, because you can't just use hex numbers. That only works for if you're working in a RBG 256 color space or whatever. There's so many other color spaces that you might be working in, but Pantone colors are Pantone colors across all, and you can say, here's the library of Pantone colors and their nearest hex equivalent.
Yeah, they have.
Here's the library of Pantone colors as they are produced.
Here's our.
I'm buying stock color paper, and it comes in this Pantone color.
Yep.
Because the paper company paid Pantone to
get the exact
that they had a color match. I have a Color Monkey, which is a Pantone device.
Oh, nice.
For calibrating a monitor for photo editing.
That's fun. I guess it
So
makes
it's
sense
just
as a thing that,
you know,
that would exist.
It's a USB peripheral that you plug in, that you hang on the monitor, and then it has a camera.
Yep.
And it runs through a bunch of, it comes with software.
Yep.
You run the software, and it looks at this square of the screen as it cycles through a bunch of colors, and then gives you a calibration setup for your monitor.
Nice. That's fun. Interesting. So I have not quite the same, but for the webcam that I hate, it came with a color card.
Yep.
For literally, it's got a QR code and it's got a bunch, of I guess 16 colors in a gray.
Yeah, this
Basically
probably
scans that and figures out what its white balancing and exposure needs to be to get the closest approximation to a true color, because everybody's lighting conditions indoors and stuff are different, and if you got tungsten bulbs versus
yeah, and the set of colors that you use is generally optimized based off of what lighting conditions there are available. So the colors picked on that card will help to differentiate between specifically sun, tungsten,
halogen, I guess.
Halogen, and fluorescent.
There, I was like, what the hell is the other one? Right.
There's some greens in there that are for picking up how much fluorescence is going on, because fluorescent light has a lot of green in it, just for whatever reason.
I understand. Well, I got textures, 3D poses. He hasn't gone actually Super Shadow all that often, so I feel like this limits the like Sonic Adventure 2.
Okay.
I think he went Super in Sonic 06.
Oh god.
And that might be
that
it.
last sequence.
I don't even remember if he went Super in Shadow. He probably did. I think those are the only times he's ever gone properly Super. I don't think he's gone Super in the last 20 years. Oh, there we go. Red and bend the bike. 3D CG across multiple titles. Oh, this is funny. So the one on the left being Sonic Riders probably 2.
Uh-huh.
The middle one is Sonic and the Black Knight, which we haven't actually gotten to yet.
Spoilers.
Yep.
And the right one is Sonic in Tron.
That is his, I think it's his race outfit from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Okay.
Everybody's got a weird cyber outfit that they have for that.
Yeah, because he looks like he's straight out of not original Tron.
No.
Remake Tron.
Maybe remake Tron. He looks like he's about to step into a race car. Like, it's that very, like, lots of loud contrast patches and pockets and things.
Yeah, there's not enough sponsors on it, though. It's just got his name.
Yeah, he's his biggest sponsor.
I am my own sponsor.
Sonic the Hedgehog visual. Yeah, Sonic 06, pretty standard. Black Warrior, nice. We've been beating those dudes up all game.
Yep.
Doomseye 3D CG character sheet. Very interesting difference between these two.
Yeah, those are two very different palettes. The texture feels very similar, like the UV mapping and the like
the one on the left feels like it's more of a base for everything, and the one on the right seems to be almost more like, here's the concept of the like effect that like its tentacles should kind of like glow into this deeper indigo color, and the eye should kind of radiate a bright orange kind of color, but like the rest of it seems to be basically the exact same.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's more of a reference,
like a lighting situation.
Yeah.
Like, this is how we expect it to look in under lighting and with effects, but here's a base model. Yeah, quite possible.
Black Doom.
Black Doom.
Yep. It's so funny. The Black Doom doesn't have like a body. I'm unclear where Black Doom's body actually ends. He's got arms, he's got a head, he's got shoulders, he seems to have some kind of torso, and then it just stops. And it's like, does he just have like...
Yeah, and the shirt is ragged and hanging down, so it's maybe even like here.
Yeah, like, does he have like a stomach area? Does it stop at like a chest? Does he just have kind of a squiddly like thing that connects his shoulders and that's it? And he just hovers and it's just an extension of that, of this kind of form, you know? It's an interesting kind of thing. Oh yeah, a bunch of the enemies from Sonic 06. Including 2 different Rhinobots. All right. Oh, and the dude who, when you kick him in the chest, it looks like you knocked him. It looked like you racked his balls.
Those aren't actually different. It's just a palette swap.
That is absolutely a palette swap. There's no difference between them at all. It looks like the lights are blue instead of yellow. The paint job is yellow instead of green.
Yeah.
And that literally seems to be the entirety of the difference between them. Nice. Oh, and these are bosses. Yep. remember a bunch of these. We got 𝗵𝗧 down there. We got the wolf dude you fight in the desert. That big yellow dude is the one you fight, and then Eggman leaves the blue emerald behind. I remember that from the A Brief History of the Chaos Emeralds or whatever the hell it was video.
Yeehaw.
More bosses. Ifrit with, or 𝗵𝗧 with increasingly impractical feet.
Yep.
Whatever that snow thing. I don't remember that one at all, actually. I don't know.
Maybe you haven't fought it yet.
Is that Solaris, actually? It might be Solaris, but it's just in a weird context. Shadow size scale sheet. He is 108-ish centimeters tall.
Interesting.
Which would make him... What would that be? That'd be like...
3-ish feet?
3.5 feet, give or take. 'Cause I think a meter is about 3'3", right?
It's... Yeah, 39 inches is a meter. 39 and change.
8 centimeters would be a little over 3 more inches. So probably about 3'6", maybe 3'7".
He's a little guy.
He's a little guy.
Just a little guy.
He's a little guy. Just a little guy. You can pick him up. He's a little guy.
Ah!
Oh yeah, the do not screen.
Well, he's also got a gray face in the bottom middle.
Oh, that's true. He's so gray they couldn't even get that. You can't even see the cross out part. You
got to do. You make sure that when he's in the fog, he's completely unviewable.
Yes, you cannot see him through the crack.
He's not allowed to be happy. Don't put this smile on his face. He's not allowed to be surprised.
He's not allowed to be surprised or laughing. He can't laugh in a joyful way. Interesting that it's referred to as Lost Colony instead of Space Station Ark or something, or Space Colony Ark. Maybe as concept art, they didn't really have a name for it yet, and they were just like, it's just going to be a big space station or something.
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle Lost Colony concept art. Was it first appearance in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle?
Yep. Oh, not Battle, but Sonic Adventure 2. Which, granted, that's another... Well, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle came out the same year as Sonic Adventure 2. They both came out in 2001, opposite ends. 2001 is also when Sega officially announced that they were shutting down hardware development.
Yep.
So it's very possible that the Sonic Adventure 2 team already knew that was going to happen a little before the announcement and was already kind of quietly toiling away on a GameCube port. I think there's a PlayStation 2 one also. I don't remember. Okay. Not really sure what's going on in that first one. Second one, I think, is Grand Metropolis. Third one...
So the first one, there's kind of being chased by like a drill bot kind of situation.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
All right, it's got a drill for a nose and treads for hands. Like that feels like it's wheels that become hands for some sort of a monster.
It's getting
chasing the trio, the heroes.
Like a giant grounder, basically.
Yeah.
The third one, I think, is basically Frog Forest and was it Lost Jungle? I think, but they didn't have dinosaurs in there, as far as I remember.
Well, I guess they were thinking about maybe giving you some
Dino Jungle,
Brachiosaurus kind of guys,
and then an early version of the Egg Armada as well. Very like carnival-esque looking mothership. It's like a lot. It's a very busy looking situation there.
Yeah, that gives like cartoon pirate vibes. Like yeah,
very like you could see a Miyazaki film where the main ship has that much thing going on it.
Yeah, like I mean, like Howl's Moving Castle has a literal face.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
God, I just watched 5 Miyazaki movies in the last week.
Oh man, I need to go back and watch a bunch of them. I haven't seen any of the newer ones, and I haven't watched most of the older ones in a very long time.
So I hadn't seen Howl's Moving Castle
at all. Oh, that was one of.
So I bought a bunch of discount DVDs.
Oh, nice.
Off of a clearinghouse website.
All right.
And had a Miyazaki weekend.
Nice. That's very cool. We have our Bullet Station Rail Canyon. The top left with those bullhorn, the like longhorn trains.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on the right there. I guess that might be the first stage, the like whale, like ocean, whatever the fuck thing. No idea on the bottom left. There's like a Viking ship and bones.
I definitely see bones, like a long spine that's being run along. And okay, yeah, Viking ship vibes.
The bottom right looks like one of those big like dolls, the big like clay.
Yep.
I can never remember the name of them. Literally, there's a Pokemon called Clay Doll that looks basically like it, but it's a real thing. I don't recall that being a thing in Sonic Heroes at all.
Giant clay doll.
Oh, look, an entire thing just dedicated to, hey, Jeff, are you watching this video? Check this out. We got Frog Forest.
Woohoo!
There's even a specific one for the gang running away from the crocodile by swinging on vines. That's amazing. Absolutely magical. Egg Fleet, Egg Armada, whatever you want to call it. I think Egg Fleet is the name of the level. No. Maybe? I forget. A bunch of different aquatic life. The Shadow Room, where all the robotic shadows are being built by, I think, Metal Sonic.
Gosh, Rick, how is it that you couldn't remember Shakoki Dogu?
Actually, Dogu I probably should have remembered, because I have heard Dogu before. But the rest of it, that's a good question. I don't know how I didn't remember that. Yep. More. Okay, this is the actual this is the room where Shadow himself is kept. Alrighty. Metal Madness. Yep. When he reveals himself. Final Fortress. The big, mothership there.
That looks like a space whale.
Basically is.
I mean, an air whale, I guess.
Yeah. The whole Armada is very aquatic themed. We were talking about before, I think that might be why for the Metal Sonic fight we have here, it's all like in the water and stuff. Final Fortress is where the lightning strikes and it blows up the top thing, and Metal Sonic reveals his true form. Yeah, Metal Overlord.
Sweet.
Sonic Battle. My friends in high school and I used to
sad
fight. We used to. This is actually an extremely easy art style to replicate.
Yep.
It was very easy to come up with like weird little fan art stuff utilizing this. Very angular, very basic choices as far as like how to highlight and shadow.
So you have a Sonic OC?
Oh yeah. From back in high school, absolutely. I don't think I've used it in more than 20 years, but it's definitely out there in the distance. some more Sonic Battle Shadow. Where's Shadow Battle?
That's interesting style of like showing a progression of like outline, then some extra color work, then some color work, and then some fine detail work. There's like some extra shading involved in that third one where we have glow and not just the base color of this energy punch.
And it's fun too, other than I think the hand should be there on the left one. Otherwise you could use any of the three of these for a given moment. You could also probably flicker between the right two as like, oh, he's charging up, and like, flashing of the light as it pulses.
That would definitely be a thing that you would see on like a Newgrounds.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Somebody put together an animation.
Oh no, Shadow's attacking is just that art back and forth. Oh god, all right. No, 100%. Oh, the Akira moment. You gotta have one.
Yep.
If you're riding a motorcycle and anything remotely Japanese, you have to have your Akira moment. The Black Comet. Spooky, weird.
Concept art where it has feet?
Oh, ew. I can imagine those being like chunk, like it's almost more like tendrils just kind of implanting itself, but it definitely has like a foot look to it in that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It gives I'm standing here vibes.
Yeah, I'm here. Get out of my face. Shadow the Hedgehog. This I think is the gun fleet.
It definitely looks. I was gonna say this looks like Guns stuff.
Yeah, very more
gives big U.S. Army design concept.
Jingo militaristic, super fleet scenario.
The amount of air
are those
carriers that are in media. It's nuts that nobody's like actually got one. I mean, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, the physics of it are horrific.
Physics says no, but but everybody still says please.
Yeah, can you make a giant floating military fortress?
Can we somehow please have a flying aircraft carrier? We want to land our planes in the air.
In the air for some reason, because the 2 minutes that it might take to reach altitude just is too much. But if we land on an impractically flying fortress, that's much better.
The fuel savings and range extension for the actual fighter jets gets completely offset by the fuel requirements of the vehicle until we get anti-grav.
The actual platform itself is going to use up way the fuck more than anything else.
And then when we have anti-grav, it's probably available in the jets too.
Yeah, at that point it just becomes its own propulsion system. What I find very interesting about this shot is it seems like they turned the Nazca lines into a like
map
ridge. It's so weird.
What if the Nazca lines were 3D?
Yeah, bizarre. And there were like I think 2 different levels in Shadow that are set here. One of them is like, we have to set up the defense, perimeter, and another one is, we have to destroy the defense perimeter that the other one set up.
Interesting.
But they're not the same. They're not the same actual level in the like web of options. I think there is in fact a way to get them both in a single run.
That's funny.
And you are like undoing your own shit. No idea. This is probably something on the Black Comet, though I appreciate how the center one kind of has a flame aesthetic in the style of Shadow's own quills.
Yeah.
Interesting look.
I mean, that does help to sort of, increase the implication that it does feel a little bit like it's city buildings that are being consumed by, by
like
Black Arm's essence.
Very interesting. We saw this one before. Still no clue what I'm looking at here. It's got more of that weird, like...
it's similar to the previous one where there's some influence of the black and red coming in. Like there's some sort of black...
It's almost like a mold.
Black Arm's like plague or like a...
Yeah.
If we're going to talk about Miyazaki, this feels like Princess Mononoke with the forest spirit, when they go demons and they get all that goopiness.
Yeah. I could see that.
When the gods become demons.
I can see that as an influence on that for sure. It's a
little too spiky for that particular reference.
It's just a matter of like trying to remember where in the game there would have been something directly that like had this kind of going on, but I don't know.
Well, but that's the thing about concept art. Sometimes it doesn't actually get into the game at all. It's not a place that's in the game. It's just like a mood board.
Yeah, like, hey, here's kind of what we're aiming for. This one I think was in the game, but I cannot for the life of me remember where. It looks very familiar.
An area with volcanoes and also paths to run on.
This I don't think was in the game. I don't think there was any like Eggman Land style scenario that actually got off the ground there.
They're like, we always got to try it.
Yeah.
It's an old favorite to have a casino or a carnival or a Eggman Land or a...
There was actually a level, I forget. I'm trying to remember. I think there was a level where if you went with Tails, you had to collect 400 rings, and it was like a casino carnival style thing. It didn't look anything like this, but I'm sure that probably evolved from that. Okay. We got wings, single... I cannot read it, and it won't let me zoom in. Single rig pose, I think?
Wings. Single rig pose, yeah.
All right. Interesting. That sure is Shadow. Oh my god, they're even referencing the fucked up moon.
Yeah.
Or, I guess, because that's not really a direction that the moon would ever wax or wane.
The line is far too jagged and looks too crisp for it to be the shadow of Earth anyway. That's definitely a reference to the fucked up moon. I love when people make the moon this big.
Yeah.
Just from the like cinematography of it, that means that the camera is like a mile away.
Yes, it's forever away.
With the super zoom lens to get Shadow in frame, and then also the moon that big.
Because if it was a regular camera shot, if the moon was that big, it's like, oh, we're all about to die.
My biggest lens, which I bought specifically for doing astrophotography and stellar and like moon and stars and stuff, at its biggest zoom on a crop sensor camera and with a range extender that gives it a 1.4x multiplier to its zoom.
Yep.
Fills the frame with the moon, so it's about that. But that's over 1,000 millimeter equivalent.
I was gonna say you're never going to be taking a picture of a person with that setup, really.
No, realistically, to set up that it would like, not if you're like they're your model and you're shooting a session, unless you were doing it like as a specific setup. I could have a long tangent about that as well, because there was a photographer who has some of the most expensive photos out there that are misrepresented, and 2 of them have the same flavor text about lining up the shot and getting the perfect moment.
Oh no.
And they're obvious composites.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Instead of actually doing the work and like getting the lineup just perfect when the moon was full and at that angle
yeah.
to get the thing in the foreground over the full moon in the background. No, it's a composite.
It's like, all right, we got, there's, it's funny how much.
And like, you can say this is a composite and I cut it together from multiple photos, and that's great. But if you're going to be like telling a whole story about how
I had the most immaculate, crazy setup. And I had 4 seconds to get it right, and we nailed it.
How the weather was perfect, and my subject was at the right spot, and I had managed to calculate out where I needed to be and climbed the right tree or whatever. Then,
Nope, does not happen. And there's no shame in that either. It's a very normal thing to be compositing shots for stuff, because, like, some shots are borderline impossible. So the goal is to have a thing that looks really nice.
Yeah.
And sometimes looking really nice means you take two pictures that independently probably look really great on their own, but they look very, very special when you put them together. And it's like, that's fine. That's totally allowed.
These 2 different photos that sold for so much, you like the original large prints of them sold for a ton, but like you can look at them and see that they are pixel by pixel the same moon.
Yeah.
And like, I know people are like, it's the moon, it's there in the sky, but it wobbles. The likelihood of you to have 2 pictures that are exactly the same of the moon is very low.
Yeah.
Because there's is it 109%? It's 59, something like 59% of the moon's surface can face the Earth.
Yeah, it like kind of does a little warble in place.
It's like similar to cavitation, where like it's quote unquote tidally locked, but it'll get a little bit ahead and then get pulled back, or get a little bit behind and then dragged forward. Plus, there's some up and down variants that we can get. I mean, all of that is part of the reason why we don't have an eclipse every month.
I guess that's a good point. Yeah, it would hit the same spot over and over and over again.
Because the moon doesn't perfectly cross in front of the sun every month, because it's not It's not perfectly on the ecliptic. Sometimes it's above, sometimes it's below.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're looking at sort of the rightish side of the front face of the moon. Sometimes we're looking at the leftish. So there's all these different angles that we can get the moon at.
Yeah.
So if you have 2 pixel by pixel, perfect. That's obviously composited from the same one moon photo.
At the very least, like, you if you went across the entirety of photography of the moon, you'd probably come across instances where the moon is functionally the exact same facing, but you're never going to get it yourself, especially from the same location. And like, honestly, even just the point where you get the analysis of like, oh, you can get that zoomed in and see literally the pixels are the same. It's like, okay, so this is the one picture, and it's been
composited in as the moon in the background for 2 different photos.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh God. What do we got here? Oh yeah, this is the one that I tried to actually find the old image that I drew back in high school that looked exactly like this, and I couldn't find it.
You had the same idea? Did a similar concept art?
Not quite the exact same, but like the thing that stands out in particular is Eggman on the right and Gerald on the left.
Yep.
Very, very similar to how I had done the one for mine. If I find it before this goes up, then I'll put it in the video here. But you can see the space colony on the left, and it jumped out at me immediately when we saw it before. I was like, holy shit, whoa. Yeah. Black Warrior illustration from Shadow the Hedgehog, a little simpler of a design than the one that we have now.
Yeah.
But alrighty. You got a butt.
He's got a butt.
More Black Doom.
Got no legs.
No legs. You ain't got no legs, Black Doom. I know, Shadow. Doomsday. Yep.
Moves like an octopus.
Yeah, which, I mean, I guess that's important to specify, but I feel like you could...
Also, the eye blinks.
Oh, it does blink. I feel like seeing those 2 concept arts side by side, you could probably intuit pretty clearly, like, oh, it like squiddles around. Got it. I guess, is that meant... What the fuck? Is that meant to be the containing unit that Shadow is in? It's very hard to parse what I'm looking at.
It's probably containment unit concept art.
Yeah. Just a general big jet thing. I don't recall if this was like a a gunship or something. It looks maybe more like an Eggman ship.
It looks more like a Robotnik family kind of work just because of the mouth.
Yeah, the more animalistic kind of look to it tends to be more Eggman's thing.
Or the front of this, I'm assuming jet, maybe spaceship, looks like it opens up and it gives even stronger beak vibes when it's open.
Very bird-like.
And has a big cannon.
Yeah, very likely to be. Shadow the Hedgehog enemy design, including another Rhinobot and another wolf dude, and also the guy who you hit it and it goes, ooh across
my
his
nuts.
legs. So I'm not crazy in thinking that there was reused stuff between those then. The Rhinobot's on wheels here, whereas I think the other Rhinobot was a little more like jet propulsion looking stuff on the bottom, but alrighty. Oh, 𝗵𝗛𝗟.
𝗵𝗛𝗟 eating a skyscraper.
Wait a second. Shadow the Hedgehog 𝗵𝗛𝗟 design. 𝗵𝗛𝗟 wasn't in Shadow the Hedgehog. 𝗵𝗛𝗟 was in Sonic 06. Is this also Sonic 06? Did they fuck up? Because, yeah, wait. Hang on. Not Ifrit, which is Sonic Rivals 2. Or the Ifrit Golem, which is Sonic the Secret Rings. But 𝗵𝗛𝗟, yeah, it was Sonic 06. They fucked up. Huh. That's interesting. Shadow 2D circle icon. Yeah, some classic design stuff there. Shadow art arrangement. Yeah, I want to know, is this from something? What was this made for? It looks really cool with the splatter art, and I'm just like, huh. Just looks nice.
Apparently in Shadow the Hedgehog, in the Sonic episode, Silver episode, and Shadow episode storylines, there is an 𝗵𝗛𝗟 to fight. According to Sonic Wiki Zone.
But that's not... There is no... Silver shows up in Sonic 06.
Oh, well, let's see.
Yeah. Like, that's why I'm just like, wait a second. Because 𝗵𝗛𝗟 is a thing from Sonic 06 specifically, and Silver didn't exist before.
Yeah, why is that the tip answer for that question? Yeah, Google's terrible these days.
Google AI Gemini shit is garbage.
This is below the Gemini section.
Oh, geez.
This is in the earlier version of Google Confidence, which was claim that you're an authority source.
Yeah.
And we'll believe you until enough people say this was not a good authority source. It's basically just like a meta tag that you can put on your website to claim that you're an authority on something.
Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. Opening cutscenes.
So they Googled it.
Yeah, I think they Googled it, which is like, I don't know how you fuck this up otherwise. This, I would be at least willing to believe maybe wasn't correct, but I'm pretty sure these were Sonic 06, because I remember that you threw shit at the bottom left guy with silver.
Yep.
And the bottom right guy is that wolf boss. I'm so fucking confused. This is just wrong. This one is just flat out incorrect. That's kind of shocking.
Maybe they cut a bunch of stuff from Shadow.
It's possible. It's totally possible 𝗵𝗛𝗟 was created for Shadow the Hedgehog and they decided against it. In which case, it really should say, like, concept design or something, but... I don't know. More opening storyboards. Oh, that's that's Shadow on his face. I was like, is he crying? What's going on? Oh, that's the shot of Sonic being like collapsing during the opening cinematic.
Crazy to see that they have Sonic Team USA, but then it's just like, here's the thing you learned in Film 101 about storyboarding worksheet.
Yeah.
Like I used basically that worksheet in a high school class.
I have somewhere over there. I have a book full of pages like this.
Yep.
I keep meaning to use it more, and I'm going to be for other projects. But like, yeah, just like, yep. Here's the classic. Just
give the sketch, maybe some camera direction spot.
Yep, little like
they're showing. This one is this
track
shot
up
does
on
a track
that.
up, and then action and explanation.
Yep. And a little extra. Oh, we got the animation instructions on the right there. Yep, Sonic should eventually collapse as he reaches the bottom of the frame.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then you have spot for if there's going to be titling on the screen.
Yeah, which
and if
I guess this one
if you have any
has
timing
there,
information.
Yeah.
So they're not using those at all in these.
Oh, words might more mean dialogue too.
It could be, dialogue or chyrons.
Yeah. Alrighty. More Sonic Battle with that very angular art style. It's a very sharp look. It was very distinct for the time.
Yeah.
This was like 2003, 2004, I think, somewhere around there. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Yep. I remember having a wallpaper that looked basically exactly like that. The 𝗃𝗧𝗘𝗧𝗧 designs. You got all the early Shadow designs that were basically just like, what if Sonic had a fucked up face? The bottom ones are kind of haunted. I don't know why, but the face the face on the bottom left is rough, and the one on the bottom right is like creepypasta territory.
Yeah, the one on the bottom right, I mean, his eye is straight up Metal Sonic.
Yeah.
And his other eye is blacked out, which adds to creepy vibes.
Yes.
The scar on A1 and B1.
It's way too try-hard. He's wearing a visor on the top right one. Is he supposed to be robotic in most of these? It kind of implies A1 implies that he has such physical damage to him that his left eye is blinded, like he has like a cataract situation going on.
Yeah.
These are spooky. I don't like any of these. Apparently, if you pre-ordered a certain way, you would get the 𝗃𝗧𝗧𝗧 skin, which I think is supposed to be essentially A1. That was the name he had at the time was 𝗃𝗧𝗧𝗧, but yeah, some more early concept stuff. These look bad. These look just like, oh, it's Sonic, but he's darker, and not in an impressive way at all.
No, B3 looks a little bit like a squid.
A little bit, yeah. He's got something about them look a little tenderly,
which I guess makes sense given that his genetic information coming from the.
That's true. They had not decided that at the time, though, for sure.
Right. Well, that might have been some of the influence that brought about.
I guess that's true.
The black arms and the Black Doom stuff and the.
Got some line art. Looks fresh out of a coloring book. Some more line art. Checking out the rocket shoes.
God, that looked like a bad scan.
It literally was probably done in like MS Paint or something.
Yeah, it was so pixely.
Because you can see the pixels on there, and that doesn't happen normally. Yeah, probably literally someone with like a tablet and MS Paint or something. Very rough sketch. I've got pages that look like this. Mystic Mansion stage sketch from Sonic Heroes. Oh boy, it's too small and I can't zoom in. This looks like probably, I can't tell if this is a top down or side view. Probably
I would expect this to be a side view. It looks like it looks like this kind of motion is referred to as a jump one time.
Yeah. The top right has one that looks like it's over a pit. All right. Frog Forest.
Common gimmicks.
And jungle gimmicks. Oh, we got the swing. We got the swing thing. Yeah. Bouncing off the big balls. Do we have the flying flower in there at all? It doesn't look like we do. You know, the different frogs and things too. Oh my god. Casino Park. That's the one. Oh no, that's Sonic Heroes, not Shadow.
That is a pinball table.
Yes. Giant pinball. Because there's Casino Park, which does a lot of pinball, and then there's Bingo Highway, which does kind of more in the realm of pachinko almost. Like you move down much longer segments that have the pinball mechanics, kind of.
Okay.
But you're really like rolling down this big long thing.
More Marble Madness.
A little bit, yeah. What is going on the right over there? Is that an early version of Black Doom?
Probably, yeah. Much more devilly.
Yeah.
It's sort of a flamey head. And then little demon with Batwing servants.
I definitely had some sketches that had that kind of look to it, too. That's so funny. Wow. All right, so I guess that's an early Maria. I guess, yeah, so this is Shadow the Hedgehog, so that would be probably Black Doom there, too, yeah. I get Sonic as well. That's interesting. Bird. It looks like something...
Mechanobiological crashing back down to Earth.
I was going to say, this looks like a Super Sonic, Super Shadow kind of scenario here.
Yeah, a concept for a final fight.
Wait, is that supposed to be the Bio-Lizard?
Quite possibly.
I think it is, because it looks like it's stuck to the end of the arc. That bit that's coming in from the top right.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird. That doesn't look... Oh, I can kind of see the face.
Yeah,
It's got a weird, like, big shell thing on the top that looks wrong, but it does have the face. And it's got like the big growths. It's got the life support system. Okay, all right. Interesting.
a bio-lizard fight.
Yeah, a biomander.
Burp, 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 burp.
Some Shadow the Hedgehog. Oh yes, when his Shadow goes into the computer a couple times. Fun. Okay. Driving a Jeep. Because sometimes you gotta.
Driving the Jeep like it's a motorcycle.
What the fuck? Why upside down for the other one? I guess hero villain kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe it was a concept for like box art.
Yeah, or like a magazine ad or something.
Yeah.
Background image sketch. It's so far away that there's not going to be much to. It looks like Black Comet about to hit the arc, while stuff is pointed at the Earth.
Funny that this is page 8 and 9 of a 13-page thing.
Yeah.
Put together for.
Oh, I guess we're getting. Wait, is that also 8?
Is page 8 of a different? That one's 2004.
They're got the same date. Yeah. That's so funny. I don't know. All right. That looks like the place where Tails and Eggman fight.
Wait, go back for a second.
I guess that's also the area that Shadow gets just jettisoned out into space from.
So the text is not the same, but it is referred to as the same page in the thing.
Yeah, that's very odd.
And they're both about the arc. God, it would help to be able to read Japanese.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it. I'm looking at the recording thing. It's recording just fine, but I'm realizing we're recording in 1080p. Don't know how that happened. That probably explains why there was some weirdness as we were getting set up to record.
Hooray.
That's fucking annoying. Oh, well. It's too late.
Sorry, guys. We found the rivet in 1080p.
Yeah, all right.
You
Devil
just don't
Doom.
get that 4K rivet.
It's not riveting 4K, unfortunately. Devil Doom fight, yeah. Big bad Devil Doom.
God, it looks so goofy in that picture.
BioLizard. BioLizard looks so different in all of these various sketches than it ever does in actual 3D.
Yeah.
Okay. Got some, like, Chaos Blast style stuff.
Well, a lot of the sketches will have come together around the same time, and then the actual work will move in a direction, and all the art ends up looking so different, but all the sketches had their, same vibe.
Yeah.
Unless it's specifically one of those, here's 5 or 6 ways to try this character, where you're deliberately being like, well,
here are
let's
your
try
choices.
very
You have to
different
do
styles.
one of these, yeah.
Yeah.
And a bunch of different, like, action things. Same here. Kind of same here with some of the computer zones. Gimmick image sketch, yeah. Jesus Christ.
How does this thing work?
10, 6, 0. I don't know what any of that means or is.
We want numbers to pop up on the screen for something.
And then that's the last one. Gimmick image sketch 5.
It's the train platforms, how to jump back and forth, how to switch which track it is.
We don't need to see it in the movies. Do the characters have little... I guess we may as well look at these real quick. First glance, Shadow looks like a grim version of Sonic, because that's how he was designed. In fact, he's the ultimate life form created by Dr. Eggman's grandfather, Professor Gerald. The professor was a genius and developed Shadow to have the ability of chaos control, allowing him to warp space-time with the power of a Chaos Emerald. Shadow will use any means necessary to achieve his goals. You know what's interesting is that Shadow had to be designed to have this ability, but Sonic learns how to use it himself.
Learns how to chaos control?
He learns how to chaos control. And I don't think, to my knowledge, that the games have ever actually given a reason why that is. Because nobody else is able to do it. I'm pretty sure the only that only...
It's not a thing that you can just do when you have 2 emeralds?
I don't think so, because the only people who've been able to do it are Sonic and Shadow, and I'm not even sure that Silver can. Metal Sonic can. As we saw in this game, he was gloating about the fact that he knew how.
Yep.
But so we have at least 3 characters who can do it, and 2 of those characters were one was explicitly designed to do it.
Yeah, the other one was explicitly designed for all of the things that it does.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, There's some interesting questions to answer there, especially now that we've had a game that focused on the lore of the Chaos Emeralds and where they came from.
Yep.
Like, literally, they come from outer space. Like, they come from a different planet. The Master Emerald is native to this Earth.
Yep.
But the Chaos Emeralds are from an alien planet.
Well, in at least the movie universe, Sonic also comes from space.
That's true, yes. He comes from another planet/dimension. It seems like they kind of play a little fast and loose with that, where it's like, they may as well be the same thing.
Right.
But worlds, I think, is what they usually stick to as the term.
Oh, this one's the world that's all mushrooms.
Yes, the mushroom world. Arm clasp meme, Mario, Sonic, hating worlds full of mushrooms in their movies.
Hilarious.
Omega is the last and strongest of Dr. Eggman's E100 series of robots.
He only made 24 of them?
He made a lot of copies of Gamma in later games because Gamma turned out so powerful. He just kind of stopped doing it for a little while, and he had a few more at the very end, and Omega was the last one. Seeks revenge for being sealed away and unused. His rampage is meant to prove he's the strongest of all. He is heavily armored and his massive arms contain a wide variety of weapons that can cycle in to replace his hands. It's like if Mega Man had an anger problem. Big the Cat, entering by yawning. Oh
with
my God.
a surprising hidden strength of fishing.
Yeah, right. He knows how to fish, and he is very buoyant. Lives a carefree life in the great outdoors with his best buddy, Froggy. However, his friends are in trouble. He'll do his best to help them out.
Mostly by having fishing missions.
Right? Oh my God. It's so funny to have a character set of stuff here because it really, like, none of the characters do anything in this game. Rouge is the only one that has even the tiniest bit of involvement in any of it. So it's just it's so funny how much Sonic Generations and by extension Shadow Generations feel like it's like the anniversary collection style game where it's like, hey, here's just a little romp through the history of stuff.
Yeah.
Just part of why I'm so fucking tired of games borrowing from the old shit. It's almost been the only thing that Sonic Team has put out in the last like 15 years now has been
callbacks,
nostalgia bait Sonic stuff. And it's like, please, something original, please. Marie's the granddaughter of... The reason the Sonic Boom games fell apart was mostly because the games themselves just sucked. Like, that's a different story, but We'll get there one day. Marie's the granddaughter of Professor Gerald and cousin to Dr. Eggman. She's plagued by chronic illness, but that doesn't diminish her courage and loving heart. She was sent to the Ark for treatment and grew up alongside Shadow. She dreamed of one day being cured and returning to Earth, the Earth she loved and missed so much. However, she was lost to a tragedy. Yeah.
That's a way to put it.
And now Shadow carries on her wish for the world. Okay. Professor Gerald Robotnik.
They didn't want to, like, put the word murder.
Yeah, murdered by the agents that Shadow and Rouge and occasionally Omega moonlight for from time to time.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
Gerald, the greatest scientific genius of all time, and the creator of Shadow.
Yeah, separately. These are unrelated.
Unlike his grandson, Dr. Eggman, he was driven by benevolent ambitions until he went crazy.
Yeah.
He designed the space colony Ark and a variety of devices that could use the Chaos Emeralds for the explicit purpose of building a gun that could destroy everything.
Yeah. The idea was that he built it so because he knew that it would be too stupid for someone to use.
Yeah, but
even still, it's like building...
enough people in a room and the IQ drops to 0.
Right? It's like building a nuke that you know for a fact will blow up the planet. And then going, here you go. Here's the weapon that you told me to make a weapon, so I made this.
I made the thing. This will kill absolutely everybody.
Yep.
However, some of his top secret research went haywire, resulting in a catastrophe. This resulted in the military's intervention, the tragic loss of Maria, and Gerald's arrest. That is sort of contrary to how the Gerald's notebook spells things out in this very same collection room.
Because he found, I think, the Gizoid and was like tinkering with it, and it was learning from other people on the base.
Yeah.
Weird shit. Like, his top secret research didn't go haywire. The thing he was researching went haywire. I don't know if that's a real distinction or not. And it went haywire because of other people.
Right. But then they blamed it on him.
They blamed it on him because he was responsible, I guess. Orbot. A robot attendant to Dr. Eggman. He's intelligent, proper, and follows orders faithfully. However, his sarcasm gets on Dr. Eggman's nerves. He often has to correct the mistakes of his companion Q-Bot, who is dumb. Robot attendant Dr. Eggman. He's friendly and laid back, but not as bright as his counterpart, Orbot. He's extremely loyal, but it lacks initiative and always waits to be given orders, which frustrates Dr. Eggman. Even though Orbot's always picking up his slack, they still get along very well.
Okay.
It's funny because we mentioned it before. I'm pretty sure Orbot was made for Sonic Unleashed, I think, and then Q-Bot was made for like the next game that came after that. So they don't actually come from the same game, but nowadays they're kind of inseparable. Shadow's history was like, I think that was the animated sequence or something. And music. Let's listen to some jams as our last thing here. I do recognize this one from Sonic Adventure 2, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I might just cycle through this kind of quickly just because, like, these are fun, but they're literally just music tracks from old games.
Yeah.
Because I think, yeah, we got some... I feel like I would recognize this a lot less than the final Rush one that Sonic gets. This plays in the cutscene where Sonic and Shadow have their little chat as they start slowly running faster and faster and faster because Sonic is trying to get to the cannon's core to disable it or disarm it in time.
Yep.
And Shadow's only real goal is all I got to do is stop Sonic and we win. And so it's just like and then this is the actual battle theme that they get, yeah. I'm surprised we don't get to fight Sonic as Shadow. Even if the idea is, oh, but Shadow can't win. It's like, okay, then have them do the battle and have it be that Sonic just isn't giving up, and then he's going to go do the dark thing. He's like, wait, hang on, and then he loses the Emerald.
Yep.
Feels like a weird reason to not just have like a mirror match situation, but... Oh, yeah, so we've got our BioLizard track. I don't know if this is the one that would have played if we didn't replace the music or if there was a remix for it, but... Bingo Highway's actually a pretty decent one. The Casino Park one is a much more annoying track in my opinion, but... Final Fortress, it takes place during a thunderstorm.
The crazy thing about having all of this, like, here's some old game music, and these tracks are a minute and a half long and loopable, is it's just like, all right, which sound are we gonna loop now?
Yeah.
Which upbeat sound are we gonna loop?
Right, yeah. Some of them...
There's just, like, this, a lot of stage music and game music is not, like, stand out. That's a track that I want to play. It's a song that I'm going to listen to that has a beginning, middle, end. It's, like, noise.
Yeah, like, it's interesting. There's a very particular art to background music in video games, for sure, where, like, you have to find something, you have to figure out a way to have something that works on a very small, like, it's shorter than a song on the radio.
Yep.
Like, it needs to be, the sweet spot is like in the minute and a half range, give or take, it seems. Anywhere from like a minute to 2 minutes, you can usually make something work depending on if you've really crafted it. But it has to be simultaneously catchy enough that your brain is happy to hear it on repeat.
Yep.
But not so bombastic that it's like distracting. It's
annoying
like
that the thing
sensory.
is coming up again. Or,
exactly, yeah. Which is weird because, like, usually when you're writing music, you want to have some of those flourishes really stand out because you're trying to, like, evoke something.
Yep.
But when you're doing background music, it needs to be, like, in the mix a little more. Like, ooh, you might have these little quick phrases that you're like, oh, yeah, nice, I like that one. And that's just kind of it.
Yeah.
And then it's gone.
I think it makes sense to have sort of an A part and a B part and maybe switch the instrumentation a little bit.
Yeah.
So that it can go sort of back and forth between some different instrumentations. They also, there's songs that don't go anywhere because most of the time, video game music is not timed out for a sequence. It's a thing that's going to happen, A, over and over again, and B, on a loop. So...
Yes. Yeah, there's very rare instances. I think... Yeah, I was trying to think of... Have I ever really heard any background music in a game that is not for a cutscene that actually has a proper, like, start and finish to it? That isn't like, all right, we're just looping this for a while. The best example I can think of is... I'm trying to remember if the song itself is called Farewell. But it's the background music. I think it was Lena Raine... made it for the DLC for Celeste. And it is a, like, 9.5-minute suite of, like, really ethereal stuff. And it's funny because I don't think it has it throughout, but it starts with literally just a single piano key of probably like a B or a B flat or something. It's a little south of C, but it literally is like a boom, 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 boom. You have this little kind of like building thing, and like it just kind of grows into this larger theme, and it goes through these like whole 2 or 3 minute long movements over the course of it, and then it kind of quiets down at the end back to the do, and then like so when I played this DLC, it took me like 3 hours to beat. It's one enormous stage.
Wow.
That has I'm trying to remember if sections, I believe sections of it have variations on the theme that kind of have different instrumentation, but any given section took me like the better part of an hour to get through. And like it technically does loop on that piano bit and starts over again, but it's so sprawling and huge that it's easy to kind of get lost in it.
Yeah.
And it's got motifs that repeat throughout, so like there's a comfort, like your brain has a space to settle on, like, oh, you got the ba ba na na, and it's like the main theme of the game. And
yeah, that's another good way to do it without having to go so far as like how they do it with some of the Mario games, where there's like the music engine is integrated in more intimately to how the game goes, where to the point where like diegetic sound effects are pitch matched to where you are in the song.
They've done some wacky stuff with that. Yeah, Mario Odyssey made it so that anytime you were on an electrical wire, it would arpeggiate across notes that matched the chord progression in the song itself.
Yeah.
So there's an engine underneath that's essentially going, here's what chord we're on right now. So generate your 4 notes that you can oscillate between for this. There's also the new Super Mario Brothers series, the like 4 or 5 games that were those on like the Wii, the DS, the Wii U, all that stuff. That was where all the like ba stuff would happen, and literally all of the enemies on screen, or most of them anyway, would turn to the camera and do like a little ba ba, like bounce along with the music.
Yep.
So it's integrated into the enemy AI. To the point where there's literally a challenge that someone came up with. I haven't watched the video yet, but I saw it come across the thing.
Only knock out enemies while they're doing that?
No, it's literally can you beat New Super Mario Brothers without, I forget if it was without jumping, but it's essentially like they couldn't get any power-ups, and the only way they could get through a stage is by literally sliding underneath enemies as they did their little bops.
That's funny.
Which sounds brutal. Absolutely redonkulous levels of challenge to like time that correctly, but I guess to a certain extent, once you have the rhythm down, you have an idea of like, here's when I do it. But
yeah, well, and since it's timed out to the music, the thing that they do, it makes it a lot easier to try and like play along and hit the timings, because you're not like memorizing the frames. You're kind of just going with the music.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always a fan of unexpected rhythm action in non-rhythm games. Like Sarah played, there was the Rayman game for the Switch that had a bonus level at the end of each world that was entirely rhythm-based.
Oh, wow.
Like you would usually be either, I forget if it was like Infinite Runner, or if you were grinding or something, or if you were running along like a track kind of thing or something, but essentially all of your actions were going to ultimately be in time with the music in some meaningful way, which in some cases adds tension because you know that like something's going to come. You can't like hold up, but at the same time it gives you a little bit of a comfort in the sense that like, okay, I know that it has to match with this music, so there's a fairly limited amount of interaction that is actually required here.
You have a warning for what's to come.
Yep. Oh yeah, now we've got our actual remixes coming in here. Oh, never mind. We just had the one. Episode Shadow, no one's favorite DLC. We got our 2 things. I got to remake the 2 jokes that got all shredded and weird in that one episode like a couple weeks ago that had 3 minutes of cut off audio. Ben the Bike and no one's favorite DLC.
Yep.
I think
remix.
I think we're getting pretty close to the bottom here, since Sonic Forces will be like Sonic Forces, Sonic Frontiers, and then this. So
Rhythm and Balance remix.
This is a remix of like white jungle. I don't know why it's referred to like this, but you can even hear the in the background of this is a track that originated in Sonic Adventure 2. Huh. I think this is one from Shadow the Hedgehog when you're in the computer.
That would make sense. Virtual reality.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I see. Wait a minute. Hang on. I'm reading these backwards because I'm thinking like Eggman's Facility Rhythm and Balance remix is like, oh, so this must be Eggman's Facility, the theme. In the remix style is in the style of Rhythm and Balance, but the song itself is literally Rhythm and Balance.
Rhythm and Balance being remixed for Eggman's Facility.
We were literally at the end. Should be right around here. Yeah,
Rhythm
this
and
guy right
Balance
here.
for White Jungle.
You'll be able to hear that. Ooh, ooh. Yeah. The little
monkeys in the distance.
Yeah. Well, there we go. I think that's basically it. I don't think there's anything else for us to really check out. There are these movies, but we don't need to sit through these again. We've already
watched all these.
Watched all of these.
They got unlocked when they were hit along the way
within the story. I think the only thing that we wound up even missing in terms of achievements, I think was like there's definitely an achievement for getting all S ranks.
All S ranks.
I think there's one other achievement as well that is related to like stage performance or something, but we're not going to worry about that. If anything, if we're going to worry about that, we'll worry about that when we come back to this for Sonic way down the line.
When we hit it in order?
Yeah, when we actually hit it in order, which is probably legitimately like we'll hit Sonic Generations probably in like 2 or so years. Maybe not. Oh no, you know what? We have the RPG between now and then. So yeah, it might be a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm amazed we got the last nut. We actually got it much faster than I thought we would today. We spent a humongous amount of time just kind of debriefing and checking out all the art stuff. But yeah, we did it. We are properly done. We've gotten everything that we needed to do here in Shadow Generations. It's a relief.
Yeehaw.
Not that it was a bad game, but it definitely felt like it. Don't you look at me like that. Don't you blink at me like that.
Dad, cut it out.
Yeah, stop staring. You're scaring away all my friends.
It was the lack of any help for finishing out collecties
that
from
was the
the
big
game
thing, for sure.
That
was really the biggest bummer there. Because honestly, I like collectathons. I like going and finding all this stuff. I don't like doing that when I have no help at all.
A radar or map pins or something.
Yeah, anything at all. Like if I talk to 𝗬𝗏𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏𝗏, even having them give me a hint at where the direction of one nut was at a time would be fine.
One that you don't currently have.
Yeah.
It would really suck if they were like, yeah, there was one maybe here.
Oh, and then you go there and it's like, well, I already got that one. But yeah. All right, well, that's going to be it for Shadow Generations. When we come back next time, we're going to play something different. It's going to be great.
It'll be something else.
We will see you later.
Bye.
Bye.